Game week 4 is coming up. Your team hasn't been doing good and you're looking to shake things up. So you're going to use your wild card. Well, this is Fantasy Football G. I'm your host, Kat, and we are going to take a look at a wild card draft which has specifically just Salah and no Haaland. So without further ado, let's get into it. All right. First things first, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see, I have been doing very well here with my rank at 2,507. Let's just say 2.5. And the way I've been doing this is using the Fantasy Football Hub AI tools. And you guys can do that by using the link in the description below. The great thing about it is that it's 50% off right now. And if you don't win your mini league, then they will give you all of your money back. The T's and C's applied, course, and you will see that all in the description below. So make sure you go check that out in the description below. Those are the tools that I use to help me gain the edge over my mini league and the rest of the league as well. So check that out using the link in the description below. Now, let's get into this wildcard draft being focusing on Salah, and we'll start with the keeper department. If you haven't joined me from my previous video, I've decided to go with Martinez and a Raya combination, a Raya combination. And that is because I really want to make sure that I'm still capturing an Arsenal defense at that fixture turn at game week 6. And for now, I still want to capitalize on those fixtures of Aston Villa in game week 4, 5, and potentially even 6. That being said, you can see we're doubling up with Aston Villa defense using Fwd there as well. Everton, of course, not necessarily being the best team in terms of scoring goals, and I really trust the Aston Villa defense. Martinez is basically one of the best keepers in the world, so I think that he's definitely going to be able to keep out those goals, as well as Fwd. I think tying down that left back row in the Premier League, as much as yes, they're going to be playing the Champions League soon and the Carabao Cup. As you can see, the fixtures are down here below me. Make sure you're always considering that while building your wild card at any stage, be it game week 4 or game week 1 or game week 6 or 20. Always make sure you look ahead, as well as capitalizing on what fixtures are going to be played. That being said, another double up is in the Liverpool there, going with the 2 centre backs, making sure that we have players who are short in for minutes, as they are also another team that are going to be in a heavy fixture congestion with the Carabao Cup and the Champions League coming up. So we want to make sure that we get players. Konate, yeah, sure, Kwanzaa could come in, but I don't think after the substitution from game week 1, he will be stepping back in. I think Konate has really solidified his role there. And I think, what I've tried to do really is save money, not going for Trent, because I'm sure you're like, Kat, what about Trent? Trent is also another player who's showing for money, but the reason why I've gone in the direction of a Virgil and Konate is really to be able to distribute the money elsewhere, as you'll see throughout the team. Then going on to Ruben Diaz, he's also basically another player I've decided to go for in the defense, who is a show in 4 minutes in this team of Man City. So we know that there's always Pep Roulette, and I think Diaz is definitely somebody who you can actually count on. Just on the note of Rico Lewis, if you are looking to save money, I think that Kyle Walker is always going to be there. I think if you've had Rico Lewis, the longer you haven't had him, the more you shouldn't just bounce on him, because at any moment that things could change, especially now that we're going into the part of the season where Champions League is going to be starting with the new format, having 8 match days now in the group stages and not 3 anymore. So they're going to need a very good team. And it could be the mere fact that Rico Lewis could sustain his spot in the actual league, and Kyle Walker could be playing in the Champions League. I don't know, but I'm not willing to take that that risk. So I'd rather just stay away from him and take somebody who I believe is sure in for minutes, and that's why I've gone for Ruben Diaz, really. And then Pedro Porro there as well, somebody who's very good in contributing both in attack and, of course, defense. And yeah, fine, we know that Tottenham is not there really known for keeping clean sheets, but Pedro Porro is somebody who can really get you really good attacking points. So he's got that upside in the case where, fine, he might not get an actual clean sheet, but he has been performing very well in the first 2 game weeks. Of course, he had a tough one with Newcastle, but he's definitely someone you can see as a season keeper. If, of course, nobody else arises at great value at 5.5. Moving into the midfield, before we do that, guys, if you've made it this far, that means you are loving the content. Please, really would appreciate it. 10 likes is the aim on this video. Really, just 10 likes, honestly, would appreciate it. And I found that 80% of you guys actually haven't subscribed. So if you really are loving the content, then please hit that subscribe button. I really would appreciate it. And I will do so by providing you guys with more content like this. So please make sure that you hit that subscribe button. Now, in the midfield, we'll start off with the combination of Mente and Mitoma. I still want to go with these guys because they have 2 great home fixtures coming up against Ipswich and Nottingham Forest. And I think let me just talk about that third fixture as well, because they, they've mentioned that Brentford has good fixture rotation with them, being that Brentford's fixture turn starts at game week 6 when Mitoma and Minte's fixtures turn, and they play Chelsea at game week 6. And look, Chelsea is not stable, so if you feel like you want to keep them for that extra game week, by all means do so. I don't feel like, okay, you're going with this and you have to change it because you need to get on maybe those Arsenal assets, which I've already incorporated here, or any other assets that are or that are going to be turning in fixture in game week 6. I think because these are your attacking players, it's players that you can really keep, and you've built a very strong defense within this wild card, so you don't necessarily have to worry. You can do a very good switch if you want to as well with Mitoma and Mente to an Eze or even a Mbuemo as well, of course, whose fixtures turn. So I think that this combination of players is really great. I wouldn't say book those in, but it's definitely something you can think of using this actual wildcard draft. Then, of course, we've got Saka there in the midfield, basically a way for us to get into those fixture turns at game week 6. But I feel like he's just one of those players who is fixture proof, in all honesty, just like Salah, who we really have got nothing much to say about. So despite the fact that Saka is going to be playing Tottenham and then Man City in a very heavily fixture congested time, with the Champions League coming up as well as the Carabao Cup, I think he'll be okay. Mikel Arteta has shown that, look, as long as this guy can walk, crawl, he's going to be on the pitch. So I don't think you have anything to worry. And he's also shown to have a very high goal involvement in Arsenal's team. So that's very good. Then going into the strike force, and yes, skipping Salah, who is captain, again, there's really nothing much to be said about him. He's just a great option in the sense of this wild card, considering that Man City is going to be playing Arsenal in game week 5. So he's definitely that wild card option in game week 5. Yeah, nothing said really much to be said about Salah. I mean, this is his draft after all. Right, going into the strike force, we've got Isak, we've got Havertz, and we've got João Pedro. I think this 3 is a powerhouse of a 3, and you can see what you can do basically without a Haaland there. You have Isak at Wolves, and I've seen that he's been on the brink of price changes sometimes, but I feel like he's still staying there at 8.5, which makes sense to me, and doesn't make sense to me why people are taking him out, because he, in my perspective, is definitely a 200-point striker as a season. So I think that he's definitely a season keeper. His fixtures are actually good in the first two. Yes, he's got Man City, but at least it's at home. Knowing Man City does leak goals, he's definitely going to be involved in there in some way and somehow. And he hasn't necessarily had a bad start. I mean, his first game, they had a red card. He still got an assist. Just scored in the previous game. So, the nice thing about it is his midfield is going to be beefed up now with the return. Man, I'm missing out that player, the Italian player's name. I think it's Tonali. He's going to be back. Yes, Tonali's going to be back. So that midfield is going to be stronger. Yeah, the defense is not all that great, but you're going to need that midfield to connect to the strike force and feed him the ball. So I think with that, he's definitely going to have more of an advanced role in making sure that he gets those goals for the team. Then Kai Havertz there, of course, for Arsenal. Honestly, another no-brainer. One of the players, in fact, right next to Saka, who is a very high contributor to Arsenal's goals and involved as well in Arsenal's goals. Him and Saka are the two picks to have when it comes to Arsenal's attack of players who are going to be involved in there. So I think it's a no-brainer. And having Kai Havertz there, real sad that he's not a midfielder anymore, but he's definitely a player to have. Even now, during this time where he's going to be playing the Tottenham and Man City, I just feel like even when there's tough fixtures, especially for a team like Arsenal or Liverpool or even Man City, and you want to avoid the tough fixtures, I feel like, and you still want to have the assets, I feel like having their attacking players is absolutely fine because at the end of the day, anything can happen in those games. For example, like that Chelsea and Man City game, which was like a 4-4 game, a 4-4 all-going game, and those goals galore. We would try and avoid that game, but hey, it could be goals involved in it. So yeah, João Pedro very much the same as Mitoma and Minte in the sense that he is a player who's part of the focal point there with Danny Welbeck. They both have 5.7, but I feel like we all believe João Pedro is going to be on penalties, and it definitely is something that counts for something. But he's very highly involved in the play build up as well. So he's not just somebody who you could look to get goals from, but also assist as well. And that's why we would definitely go for him in this team as well, this wildcard team. Then just mentioning Rodgers there on the bench, yeah, been a major disappointment, but definitely a player to have, considering that he's very well priced in the sense of he's been a disappointment for us. But what can we expect from a 5 point midfielder, guys? So his fixtures are turning. I think he's great value considering the fixtures. Yeah, his team might struggle with the fact that Bailey's out and Watkins is not necessarily performing, but he should be one to help and step up to the plate. So I think this is where he is going to be getting his actual returns now, considering that he is actually due for a return. He has been playing very well. Yeah, guys, so that is my Salah draft. If you missed it out and you want to check out Cat, I actually want to check out a Haaland and Salah draft, then check that out over here. You will catch the Haaland and Salah draft specifically made for you. And if you actually saying, hey, I don't want to do a Haaland Salah draft, I don't want to do a Salah draft, I'm actually looking for a Haaland draft, and check out that video down below over there. And make sure that you hit the like button, and also we'd really, really appreciate it if you guys could subscribe so that I can give you guys more great content like this. And I will check you guys in the next video. Peace.